Why should I kill my girlfriend?
What happened to her really defies all of our values and our beliefs in this country, and we owe it to her family to bring those people to justice who are responsible for her death.
4 German tourists went on an Australian backpacking trip in 2005. Only 3 would come back alive. Now, after almost 17 years, there has been an arrest in this case. This is the twisted murder of Simone Strobel. This is a case that closely reminds me of the American Gabby Petito case. Come join me in the murder she shed for this true crime tale. And if you enjoy my telling of true crime stories, just make sure you hit that subscribe button. The Murder She Shed is the place we discuss the dead each week, right from my she shed. And we would love to have you join us. Don't miss out. All right, guys, let's get right into this Australian crime case. Australia, the land down under, sounds like an amazing place to travel. With its pink lakes, untamed wilderness, and beaches crowded with kangaroo, it sounds like a beautiful destination. Well, until I'm reminded of the dangers. 170 snake species, 100 of them are venomous. I have as many of those as I want around here. I don't need more. But not only the snakes, but the spiders, one which can end your life in 15 minutes. Check out the size of this spider. My God, this enormous monster is considered a nice spider. Wow. And the size of that web will give you nightmares. Yikes. Nope. Just nope. Maybe I don't want to go to Australia. Maybe I don't. And I haven't even mentioned the saltwater crocodiles yet. Let's just not even go there, okay? With all that going on, if you decide to backpack in Australia, who would even think you would be in the most danger from the people you actually came to Australia with? Simone Strobel, 25, had been traveling with her boyfriend, now named Tobias Moran, and his sister, Katrin, and another friend, Jens Martin, all from Germany. Simone Strobel was a beautiful kindergarten teacher whom cared deeply for others. She left her family little notes in unexpected places, lines of poetry, sentimental thoughts. So sweet. Her family said she was strong and she was opinionated, but if she had a row, she would call later before the sunset to say she was sorry. She loved crazy clothes, beer, tennis, and to play a guitar. She also loved adventure, which is exactly why she wanted to go on this one-year backpacking trip with her boyfriend. A few months later would be when his sister would join them and her friend. Toby and Simone had started fighting in their few days at the campsite at the Sandon River, but sticking to their original plan, they had set off to Lismore on Friday, the 11th of 2005, and checked into the Lismore Tourist Caravan Park. That evening, they spent the night drinking at the Gollan Hotel. That night, staff at the Gollan Hotel witnessed Tobias and Simone fighting. Katrin was also seen arguing with her brother so loudly that the siblings were asked to keep quiet. And around 11 p.m., they were told to leave for being too rowdy. On this surveillance video, after they are kicked out of the hotel, it looks as if Tobias and Simone are arguing so much that she actually starts to walk the opposite direction from the others. Eventually, they all returned to the caravan park, where around 11:30 that night, witnesses hear arguing between a man and a woman. Several witnesses independently heard the woman shouting, "Leave me alone." Another described the argument as being partly in German and then partly in English. One witness physically identified Tobias as shouting at a woman inside the camper van. The last independent sighting of Simone was at around 12:45 a.m. Tobias went to the police station the next morning to report her missing, but weirdly enough, not until all of them had packed up the tent and van. They didn't show up to the police station till 10:45 that morning and then stated Simone had left the campsite and never returned. They told police Simone and Tobias were in a loving and stable relationship, but that Simone had left the group's campsite after criticizing Tobias and his sister for arguing about family matters. It was a story all three of them would stick to in every police interview that they did. Simone's body was not found until 6 days later, already too decomposed to verify it was her. 5 days later, dental records flown in from Germany confirmed the body was indeed Simone's. Simone's body had been carefully concealed in a location very near to the actual park they were staying at. It was basically just a short path through the trees, and there was a sagging wire fence where her body lay near. She was found nude, covered with palm fronds, with her feet totally clean as if she had been carried. There was no signs of SA. It looked as if she had been passed face down by two people through a chicken wire. Later they would say one person could have done it. It just would have been just a little more complicated. A hair that had snagged on the chicken wire had been collected by the forensic unit. It was without its roots, so at the point testing for DNA was not possible without destroying it. It was currently being held by the German police. This technology would come along in 2019, where they began testing hair without roots that for mitochondrial DNA in the shaft of the hair. Simone had no defense wounds, and weirdly enough, they had been unable to identify her cause of death. Through a process of elimination, they believed Simone had been asphyxiated with either a pillow or a plastic bag. Luckily, they were able to hear Simone speak through her diary. She wrote on February 10th, the day before she was murdered. Tobias flipped out totally, and it's the baddest vibration between us since we've been in Australia. F you. We spent the whole rainy day separated like that. Katie and I in the van and the others in the tent. She added that Tobias hadn't said a single word all day. Tobias had wrote in a diary too. He has said on that very same day, this was a effing day. Simi got on my nerves right off in the morning. It's really getting too much. It can't go on like this. Authorities pretty quickly began to suspect Tobias. Enough evidence could not be found, unfortunately, to convict anyone of her murder. Tobias, of course, completely denies it. A coroner inquest was held into Simone's death in 2007. Jens Martin was a key witness at the inquiry, and the only one of them that showed up. Tobias and his sister refused to return to Australia to give evidence. Mr. Martin told the inquest through an interpreter, I don't know who killed Simone. It's possible Tobias may have had something to do with it. It's not my job. At the inquest, Mr. Martin said that he initially lied to Lismore police at Tobias' request. He said he agreed to lie because he had been smoking, the Mary Jane, which he said was illegal, and because Tobias had told him he didn't want to be a suspect. He told the inquest that in the days leading up to February 11, 2005, the relationship between Simone and Tobias had become more and more strained, and that on the actual night of her disappearance, it was so bad that both Simone and Catherine were in tears. He said prior to attending the police station, Tobias had told him and Catherine what to tell police and repeatedly sought assurance from both that they had maintained the prepared story. Mr. Martin said his concerns grew after Tobias and Catherine actually visited him when they got home in Germany and asked him what he had told German police. In 2020, authorities announced a $1 million reward for any information that can help solve her homicide. Meanwhile, Tobias has been living life up, getting married in 2012 to Samantha Morin. And then he changed his last name, and that's when his last name now became Morin. His new parent-in-laws are well-to-do. He returned back to Australia and was living in Perth's moneyed city beach suburb in a $1 million house owned by his father-in-law, wealthy Perth dentist, and property investor John Morin. He became so happy and began attempting to sue anyone that mentioned that he could have any involvement in her death, including case files, the Australian case files that you see on YouTube. He even had to take down his story he did of that because he threatened to sue him. Crazy, I know. But on July 25th, his luck may have just worn off when he was apprehended at his house. This is the moment of his arrest, put out by Western Australia authorities. And the same man, Detective Cameron Blaine, that had arrested 4-year-old Cleo Smith's kidnapper. If you remember that one. And so he also arrested Tobias. So far, they have not discussed the evidence they had for the arrest to have occurred. But I'm wondering if they finally tested that hair stuck to the chicken wire with that mitochondria DNA. Maybe Simone's family will finally get justice. And I hope you guys have a great, blessed week. I just wanted to get this out to you because it's a breaking, pretty much solved case. I'm not going to say solved because I don't want to get sued in case it's not, you know. But pretty much 99% it could be. That little percentage that it's not. So, guys, if you enjoyed my telling of the true crime, don't forget to smash that subscribe button so I can get out in the YouTube big world algorithms. I get lost in here. All right, I love you guys, and don't forget my bloopers. All right, I love y'all. Bye. Check out the size of this spider. My God. Maybe I don't want to go to Australia. Maybe I don't. Maybe I'll stick with you, Canada. His name is Tobias. It's now Moran, and I'm going to stick to that because it's an easier name to say. Because his old name actually looks like it says Suckfuel, which does suck. We should call him Tobias Suck. He changed his name to Tobias Moron. Oh, no, not Moron. That was really an accident. I'm sorry. What was his last name? I totally forgot. Moron. Tobias Moron. Moron? Yeah, that's it. Start that all over. That was bad part. Only I don't have my little German Shepherd Simon this time. He's usually in here with me, but he's like, screw you. It's like 110 degrees. And you sometimes turn off the air conditioner because it messes up your recording. So screw you. That's what he told me basically today. So he is not in here with me, and he's actually smarter than I am apparently. God, I should have took my ADHD medicine today. This is going to be a long video. I'm sorry. I'm going to just edit, okay? With her boyfriend, then named, but we're going to say now named. Dang it. Tobias Moran. His sister, Catherine